What if everything you have been told about muscle recovery is only half the story? What if rebuilding lean, strong muscle in just 24 hours has less to do with how much protein or creatine you take, and more to do with how your cells wake up before breakfast? For decades, the fitness industry has revolved around one molecule, creatine. It has been hailed as the miracle supplement for strength, power, and recovery. And yes, creatine works. It helps your muscles regenerate adenosine triphosphate, the molecule that fuels every contraction. But here is what almost no one talks about. Creatine is not what initiates repair. It is simply the fuel that supports it. The actual rebuilding process begins much deeper at the mitochondrial and cellular level, and it depends on a very different set of nutrients. Think of your muscle like a city after a storm. Creatine helps provide electricity so the lights can turn back on, but the real work of rebuilding, repairing damaged structures, replacing broken parts, clearing out debris requires skilled workers, precise tools, and coordinated signals. Those signals come from vitamins and cofactors that switch on your body's repair genes. Without them, no amount of protein or creatine can rebuild tissue efficiently. Here is the surprising truth. 2 specific vitamins taken before breakfast can accelerate muscle recovery within 24 hours, not by adding more fuel, but by turning on the biological machinery that makes new muscle tissue possible. These are vitamins that activate molecular pathways linked to mitochondrial biogenesis, inflammation control, and protein synthesis. When timed correctly, especially before your first meal, they take advantage of the body's fasting-driven repair mode. And that combination is what triggers rapid regeneration at the cellular level. Over the next few minutes, we are going to dive deep into this mechanism, how your body's internal nutrient sensors communicate with mitochondria, how timing your micronutrients around your circadian rhythm can supercharge recovery, and how these 2 specific vitamins can amplify the effects of your workouts, even if you never touch creatine again. We will explore what happens when your cells are deficient in these nutrients, why most people are unknowingly sabotaging their morning recovery window, and how simple changes in nutrient timing can shift your metabolism from breakdown to repair mode in a single day. By the end of this video, you will understand precisely how these vitamins work, when to take them, and how to combine them with your morning routine to optimize muscle rebuilding, cellular resilience, and long-term vitality. Because real strength does not just come from lifting heavier, it comes from building smarter, starting from the inside out. For nearly 3 decades, creatine has been celebrated as the gold standard for muscle growth and recovery. Every gym shelf carries it. Every fitness influencer swears by it. And to be fair, there is strong science behind it. Creatine increases the availability of phosphocreatine in muscle cells, which helps rapidly regenerate adenosine triphosphate, the energy currency that powers every muscle contraction. But here is the problem. Generating energy and repairing tissue are not the same thing. Producing more adenosine triphosphate helps you perform better during exercise, but once the workout ends, your cells face a very different challenge repairing damaged fibers, clearing out oxidized molecules, and rebuilding stronger structures. That process is not fueled by creatine. It is directed by your mitochondria and controlled by micronutrients that turn on your body's internal repair machinery. When you exercise intensely, your muscle fibers experience microtears. These tiny injuries trigger an inflammatory response that calls in immune cells to clean up damaged proteins and initiate regeneration. During this window, mitochondria ramp up their energy production not for movement but for healing. They generate adenosine triphosphate for protein synthesis, antioxidant defense, and cellular signaling. And here is where vitamins not creatine play the starring role. Without adequate levels of specific vitamins that act as cofactors for these mitochondrial enzymes, the energy you generate cannot be efficiently channeled into repair. Think of it like having electricity but no functioning wiring system. The lights flicker, but nothing really works. Peer-reviewed studies have shown that micronutrient deficiencies, particularly in B group vitamins, vitamin D, and certain antioxidants can reduce muscle protein synthesis by up to 30%. That means even if you are eating enough protein and supplementing with creatine, your recovery can still be significantly impaired if your cells lack the cofactors that drive the rebuilding process. Another important distinction: creatine primarily affects the phosphagen system, which supports short bursts of power. But muscle growth and adaptation occur through mitochondrial remodeling, a slower, enzyme-driven process that depends on nutrient signaling. This is where the two vitamins we will discuss later come into play. They help activate genes involved in mitochondrial biogenesis and oxidative repair, the deep cellular work that creatine cannot touch. Creatine is like giving your body a bigger fuel tank. But if the engine, your mitochondria, is not tuned properly or missing vital components, that extra fuel does not translate into better performance. The two vitamins we will discuss are the master mechanics that ensure every molecule of fuel is used to rebuild, not wasted as metabolic exhaust. So yes, creatine helps, but it is just the beginning of the story. The real magic of recovery happens not in your shaker bottle, but in your mitochondria, and that is exactly where we are heading next. Before we move forward, if this breakdown is resonating with you so far, go ahead and press the subscribe button. It helps more people discover this kind of science-backed health content. When you push your muscles through resistance training or any form of intense exercise, you are not actually building strength in that moment. You are creating microscopic damage. Every rep, every sprint, every contraction sends shock waves through the fibers, producing tiny tears in the muscle structure. This is not a bad thing. It is the signal your body needs to adapt, grow, and come back stronger. But the process that follows is far more complex and far more fascinating than most people realize. Here is what is happening at the cellular level. Within minutes of finishing your workout, your immune system begins to respond. Specialized immune cells called macrophages arrive to clear away damaged proteins and cellular debris. This cleanup process is essential because if those oxidized proteins are not removed, they interfere with new growth. As this inflammatory cleanup occurs, another group of cells known as satellite cells wake up. These are the muscle's own stem cells. They multiply and fuse with existing fibers, donating their nuclei to help synthesize new proteins and repair the damaged regions. The coordination between inflammation, cleanup, and regeneration is tightly regulated by nutrient signals, mitochondrial energy output, and hormonal cues. Now, this is where it becomes critical. All of these processes require tremendous energy, not the explosive energy you need for lifting weights, but the steady, controlled flow of adenosine triphosphate that powers molecular machinery. And this energy must come from healthy mitochondria. When your mitochondria are supported by the right micronutrients, they not only generate adenosine triphosphate efficiently, but also communicate with the nucleus through molecular messengers to turn on genes for muscle repair. One of the most important of these signaling pathways is mTOR, the mechanistic target of rapamycin. Think of mTOR as the command center that decides when your body should build new proteins. When activated by amino acids and supported by vitamins that function as enzymatic cofactors, mTOR promotes synthesis of new contractile proteins. But here is the nuance: if the mitochondria are under oxidative stress or lacking key vitamins, mTOR signaling is impaired, and protein synthesis slows dramatically. On the other hand, pathways like AMPK act as energy sensors, detecting when your cells are running low on fuel. When balanced properly, AMPK and mTOR work together to orchestrate repair and growth. But this balance depends heavily on cellular redox status, which is influenced by specific vitamins that act as antioxidants and mitochondrial cofactors. So, when people say, "I am not recovering well," it is rarely because they lack protein or creatine. It is often because their cellular communication network is not functioning optimally. The mitochondria are fatigued, nutrient cofactors are depleted, and oxidative stress is interfering with repair signals. Let me make it simple. Imagine a construction site. You have plenty of building materials, that is your protein. You even have a power supply, that is your creatine. But if your construction crew is underfed, poorly equipped, and disorganized, progress stalls. The two vitamins we will soon reveal act like foremen, coordinating the work, supplying tools, and ensuring everything runs efficiently. That is the key to rebuilding muscle faster, stronger, and more completely. Not just more fuel, better cellular coordination. Let us begin with the first key vitamin, vitamin B3, also known as niacin or its active forms, nicotinamide riboside, NR, and nicotinamide mononucleotide, NMN. This vitamin is far more than a nutrient. It is a molecular switch that controls how your cells generate energy and repair themselves. Here is what is happening at the cellular level. Vitamin B3 is the precursor to NAD+, short for nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, one of the most important molecules in human biology. NAD+ is involved in over 400 enzymatic reactions inside your body, but its most essential role is this. It enables mitochondria to convert food into usable energy. Without adequate NAD+, your cells cannot efficiently make adenosine triphosphate, the molecule that powers every muscle fiber. Now here is where it gets fascinating. During intense exercise, your NAD+ levels plummet. This is because mitochondria are working overtime, and the balance between NAD+ and its reduced form NADH becomes skewed. When that happens, mitochondrial efficiency drops, oxidative stress rises, and the genetic programs that govern repair slow down. Supplementing with vitamin B3, particularly in its NAD+ boosting forms, restores that balance. It literally recharges the battery of your muscle cells. But vitamin B3 does more than power energy metabolism. It also activates a group of longevity enzymes called sirtuins. These are the guardians of cellular repair. Sirtuins rely entirely on NAD+ to function, and when activated, they promote mitochondrial biogenesis, enhance DNA repair, and reduce inflammation in muscle tissue. In practical terms, this means faster recovery, less soreness, and greater endurance for your next session. Peer-reviewed studies have shown that increasing NAD+ levels can improve muscle function, accelerate repair after exercise, and even reverse aspects of age-related mitochondrial decline. In animal models, boosting NAD+ through vitamin B3 precursors improved endurance by up to 60% and reduced markers of inflammation within 24 hours. Timing is crucial here. When you take vitamin B3 or its precursors before breakfast, you align it with your body's fasting-driven repair phase. During the morning fasted state, the body is already upregulating sirtuin activity and mitochondrial repair pathways. Adding vitamin B3 at this time amplifies those effects. You are essentially giving your cells the raw material they need right when the repair machinery is already switched on. It is like fueling a construction site right before the crew begins work. Energy, tools, and coordination all arrive precisely when needed. For practical application, a typical dose of nicotinamide riboside ranges from 250 to 500 milligrams, or nicotinamide mononucleotide between 200 to 300 milligrams. These forms are more bioavailable than standard niacin and do not cause the flushing effect. For those preferring whole foods, small amounts of niacin are found in tuna, chicken breast, mushrooms, and peanuts, though the supplemental forms are often necessary to reach therapeutic levels. So vitamin number 1, vitamin B3, is not just a vitamin. It is the ignition key that turns on your mitochondria, restores your NAD+ reserves, and triggers the genetic programs of repair. When taken before breakfast, it acts as a signal to your cells. Wake up, rebuild, and renew. If you are enjoying this breakdown and learning something new, consider subscribing. I post weekly deep dives into longevity science and evidence-based nutrition to help you understand how to rebuild health from the inside out. Now that we have uncovered how vitamin B3 supercharges your cellular energy system, let us move to vitamin number 2, vitamin B2, also known as riboflavin. This is one of the most underestimated nutrients in human metabolism, yet it is absolutely essential for rebuilding muscle, sustaining mitochondrial health, and maintaining peak energy output. Riboflavin is the quiet partner in the same metabolic orchestra as niacin. While niacin generates NAD+, riboflavin produces FAD and FMN, short for flavin adenine dinucleotide and flavin mononucleotide. These molecules are equally critical for mitochondrial energy production. Here is what is happening at the cellular level. Every time your mitochondria convert food molecules into adenosine triphosphate, they pass electrons through a chain of protein complexes. Two of those complexes, Complex 1 and Complex 2, rely directly on FAD and FMN. Without them, the entire electron transport chain slows down, and your muscles cannot efficiently regenerate energy. When that happens, fatigue sets in, oxidative stress builds, and the repair process becomes sluggish. Riboflavin ensures that this does not happen. It stabilizes the redox reactions that allow your mitochondria to extract energy cleanly and efficiently from nutrients. But it also does something even more important for recovery. It helps recycle antioxidants like glutathione. That means less oxidative damage to muscle tissue after training, and a faster shift from inflammation to repair. Studies have found that athletes with higher riboflavin intake experience less muscle soreness and recover strength faster between sessions. In one controlled trial, even modest supplementation improved post-exercise mitochondrial function within 24 hours. Another study observed that riboflavin deficiency led to decreased muscle endurance and greater fatigue, even when protein intake was sufficient. This vitamin also plays a subtle but vital role in amino acid metabolism. It helps activate vitamin B6 and folate, both of which are required to convert dietary protein into the building blocks for new muscle tissue. In other words, without riboflavin, even the best protein diet cannot be fully utilized. Now, why take it before breakfast? Morning is the body's natural window for mitochondrial activation. After sleep, your cells are in a mild fasting state, where repair and energy regeneration are prioritized over growth and storage. Taking riboflavin before your first meal ensures that your mitochondria receive FAD and FMN right when they begin their daily metabolic ramp-up. Combined with vitamin B3, this creates a perfect biochemical pairing, NAD plus NFAD working together to drive both the energy and the signaling required for rapid muscle recovery. For practical application, a typical supplemental dose of riboflavin ranges from 20 to 40 milligrams. It is water-soluble, meaning the body uses what it needs and eliminates the rest safely. Food sources include eggs, almonds, salmon, spinach, and liver. But modern diets often provide suboptimal levels, especially for those training hard. Taken together, vitamin B3 and vitamin B2 form the foundation of mitochondrial recovery. One boosts NAD+, the other fuels FAD. Together, they power up your cellular engines and activate the molecular repair systems that rebuild muscle tissue faster than creatine alone ever could. Before we move on, a quick reminder: if you are enjoying this, press the subscribe button, like, comment. It really supports the channel and helps spread these science-backed tools for better health and longevity. When it comes to nutrition, timing is not just a detail, it is a biological signal. Every cell in your body runs on a 24-hour clock known as the circadian rhythm, which tells your tissues when to rest, when to repair, and when to grow. The fascinating truth is that your body's ability to absorb and utilize nutrients changes throughout the day. And for muscle recovery, the pre-breakfast window is one of the most powerful times to intervene. Here is why. After a night of sleep, your body is in a mild fasting state. Insulin levels are low, cellular repair genes are active, and mitochondria are shifting from rest to readiness. During this window, your body prioritizes cleanup and renewal over growth and storage. When you introduce certain micronutrients at this moment, particularly those that enhance mitochondrial function, like vitamin B3 and vitamin B2, you amplify the very processes your body is already performing. Think of it like joining the momentum of a river that is already flowing in the right direction. You are not forcing the system, you are aligning with it. Vitamin B3 boosts NAD+ production just as your fasting-driven sirtuins are becoming active. Vitamin B2 provides FAD to support energy generation as your mitochondria transition into day mode. Together, they convert stored energy into repair energy, literally rebuilding tissue while your body remains in its most efficient metabolic state. Now, once breakfast enters the picture, insulin begins to rise, shifting your physiology from repair toward growth and energy storage. That is not a bad thing, but it means the pre-breakfast phase is uniquely suited for cellular maintenance. By taking these vitamins before breakfast, ideally with a glass of water or black coffee, you leverage this short but powerful window when your mitochondria are most responsive. To visualize this, imagine two engines starting up in the morning. One engine runs on stored fat and internal energy reserves. This is your fasted metabolism. The other runs on incoming nutrients. Once you eat, this is your fed metabolism. Vitamin B3 and B2 optimize the first engine so that when the second starts, it performs better. This synergy creates a smoother energy transition, less oxidative stress, and more efficient nutrient utilization throughout the day. Interestingly, researchers studying time-restricted feeding have found that mitochondrial efficiency and antioxidant activity peak in the early morning. That means your cells are biochemically awake before you eat. They are waiting for the right cofactors to initiate full performance. Supplying those cofactors at that time transforms recovery and energy generation across the next 24 hours. For a practical morning protocol, consider this. Upon waking, hydrate well. take your vitamin B3, either nicotinamide riboside or nicotinamide mononucleotide, along with vitamin B2. Wait at least 20 to 30 minutes before your first meal. If you train early, this timing still works. You are priming your mitochondria before any exercise stress occurs. It is a small habit with disproportionate impact, one that respects your circadian biology and uses timing as a therapeutic tool. So while most people rush to protein shakes or creatine after training, the real advantage lies in what happens before breakfast when your body is in its natural repair rhythm, waiting for the right signal to rebuild. Up to this point, we have focused on how vitamins B3 and B2 can rebuild muscle faster by supporting mitochondrial function, energy production, and nutrient signaling. But here is the deeper truth: these same processes that enhance recovery are also the foundation of longevity. Here is what is happening at the cellular level. As we age, our mitochondria gradually lose efficiency. They produce less adenosine triphosphate, leak more reactive oxygen species, and fail to activate repair pathways with the same precision. This decline is one of the root causes of aging itself, contributing to fatigue, inflammation, insulin resistance, and loss of muscle mass, a condition known as sarcopenia. When you restore mitochondrial efficiency through NAD+ and FAD support, which come directly from vitamins B3 and B2, you are not only rebuilding muscle, you are slowing this decline at its core. NAD+ activates sirtuins enzymes that repair DNA, regulate inflammation, and promote mitochondrial biogenesis. FAD supports key enzymes in the Krebs cycle and electron transport chain, both vital for efficient energy conversion. Together, these systems sustain what scientists call metabolic flexibility, the ability to switch between burning carbohydrates and fat seamlessly. People who maintain this flexibility tend to live longer, stay leaner, and experience fewer age-related diseases. Now let us tie this back to muscle. Muscle is not just a structure for strength, it is a metabolic organ. Healthy muscle tissue acts as a glucose sponge, stabilizing blood sugar levels, producing anti-inflammatory myokines, and serving as a storage site for amino acids that protect against frailty. The stronger and more metabolically active your muscles are, the more resilient you become against aging. By supporting mitochondrial function through vitamins B3 and B2, you are improving this metabolic organ system. You are creating a body that burns cleaner energy, produces less oxidative waste, and repairs itself faster after every challenge, whether it is a workout or simply the stress of daily living. Let me break this down with a simple example. Imagine your body as a hybrid vehicle. In youth, both engines, your mitochondria and your muscle systems, run smoothly. But as years pass, the internal systems begin to degrade. Fuel efficiency drops, energy output weakens, and maintenance costs rise. Now imagine upgrading the battery system and the circuitry suddenly. That same engine performs like new. That is exactly what happens when NAD+ and FAD levels rise through proper vitamin B3 and B2 intake. This is not speculation. Multiple studies on NAD+ precursors show improved mitochondrial biogenesis, enhanced insulin sensitivity, and reduced markers of inflammation in both animals and humans. Similarly, FAD-dependent enzymes have been directly linked to longevity pathways, including those that regulate oxidative stress and cellular recycling through autophagy. So, when you take these two vitamins before breakfast, you are doing far more than rebuilding muscle. You are reinforcing the very foundations of healthy aging. You are repairing the machinery of your metabolism, restoring youthful energy dynamics, and investing in a longer, stronger life. If you are finding this helpful, tap the subscribe button and share your thoughts in the comments. Let us take a step back and connect everything we have uncovered today. We began by challenging a powerful myth that you need creatine powder or synthetic muscle boosters to build and repair muscle quickly. The truth is far more elegant and rooted in biology. Your body already has the machinery to rebuild itself. It just needs the right nutrients at the right time to activate that machinery. Vitamins B3 and B2, niacin, and riboflavin are not new discoveries. They have been part of our diet for generations, but modern research has revealed something extraordinary about them. When taken together, especially before breakfast, they amplify your body's natural muscle repair systems by feeding the mitochondria, increasing NAD+ and FAD levels, and activating genetic pathways that control inflammation, recovery, and energy metabolism. This means faster recovery after exercise, better endurance, and greater protection against muscle loss with age. But it also means more than that. It means you are supporting the very same pathways that defend your cells from oxidative stress, maintain healthy DNA, and slow the biological clock itself. Because the truth is, this longevity is not about living longer. It is about living stronger. It is about preserving the quality of your life, your vitality, your mobility, and your capacity to do the things that make you feel alive. So here is your challenge. Tomorrow morning before breakfast, start your day with these two essential vitamins. Pair them with a protein-rich meal, stay hydrated, and move your body intentionally. Give your cells the raw materials they need to rebuild, recharge, and renew, and watch what happens to your energy, your strength, and your recovery over the next 24 hours. If this brought you value, like the video and subscribe to join others who are optimizing their health span. Share your experience in the comments. Your insights could help someone else begin their own journey towards strength and longevity. Remember, the most powerful supplement you can ever take is knowledge applied with consistency. You are not just rebuilding muscle, you are rebuilding your future, one cell at a time.